Hello, friends. I
Oh,
speak to you. Can you hear me now?
yeah,
What?
yeah.
Oh,
What? Hello?
I
I said, hello, friends. I am calling from the future. Where I am right now is Friday, and I know where you guys are. It's Thursday. And the reason I'm calling from the future is I am in Queenstown, New Zealand, and which is literally on the other side of the earth, 18 hours time difference between the Eastern time and where I currently am. So it's actually almost dinner time here in New Zealand and almost bedtime for Brian in Tampa. So the day
Wow.
before. So
And
yeah,
Burke is still looking to have dinner for Thursday.
That's correct.
yeah,
21
yeah.
hours behind.
Yeah.
And so, guys, if you need any advice from the future, anything I can, possibly help you with,
Lot
lottery
lottery
numbers,
tickets. Lottery tickets.
anything, yeah. If I all of a sudden, say move quickly, get out of, whatever that means, probably something big's going to happen. So, um,
So
so,
so what took you to New Zealand?
so we are here. Joe, my husband, is an avid painter, and I kind of paint. I actually came from the art degree world. And anyway, so there's um there's a school down here. Literally it's an online school, but actually they're based here called Tisch Academy, and I'll tag it in the video here. But and what they do is they do something called plein air, plein air painting, which means you go literally on location and sit in front of a mountain range or in front of a bunch of horses or sheep or whatever, some kind of scenery, water. We've been doing just about everything, and you paint right there on the spot. And then the idea is that you'll paint, kind of get the lighting. You're not going to make it, absolutely perfect, but get the lighting, and then you would take it back to your studio and kind of touch it up and all that kind of stuff. But last night we went to a couple places that were just unbelievable. Like it felt like I was on another planet. And here there's a huge movie set up in the middle of nowhere, New Zealand. They would not tell us what movie they were filming, but it was a big movie, we could tell, and we've since found out what the movie is. But
Well,
um
that's more future news. You're
More
not allowed to
future
give us.
knowledge.
Yeah.
yeah. So if you want to find out what the movie is, you can send us a chat question and I'll let you know. But yeah, we asked a couple people working there and they're like, we can't tell you, we can't say who's here, we can't say. But there were probably 40 semi trucks, food trucks, tents set up, a big old manor house in the middle of nowhere. So it's going to be a kind of a fantasy-ish, not Lord of the Rings per se, but something akin to that. But it's going to be for a generation that grew up on Donkey Kong. So I'll let you guys figure out what that's going to be because I have no freaking clue what it
Well,
is.
speaking of generations, today we are going to talk about the the middle child of our cast mates here. Since Bill, you and I are the bad boy boomers, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
we have Burke. Burke is Gen X,
The very starting.
and Burke, you wanna tell us about what it's like to be the Gen X, the forgotten generation,
The
is what
Jan
they're
Brady.
called.
The Jan Brady.
Yes, yes.
Well, if you'd talk to my generation, you'd say we're the toughest generation. I think there's debate. We've discussed it before of kind of when the break is. I think it's in the mid '60s is kind of when it transitions from the boomers, which you're the end of, and the X, which I'm the beginning of because I was born in '67. So the interesting things that whether we're the toughest generation or we're the forgotten generation can be debated, but we're the last generation I know to grow up with no cell phone, no computer, a TV with the 4 channels. Many people in the Generation X, I was fortunate to have a mother that stayed at home. But most of Gen X and a big portion of that crowd were the first turnkey, latchkey kids, where they had a key around their neck.
That
They'd
was
go to
me.
school. There's Brian. So see,
Yeah.
you're kind of edging into my
I'm
generation.
at the very end of boomer,
Right, yeah.
but
You're
yes,
the
it
end, I'm
was
the beginning.
I was the only of 6 children. I was the only latchkey one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What
Ma-
changed?
Mama went to college and then
Oh.
got a teaching job, and she was the only mom in the neighborhood that did that. And so I had to come home I did not like it. I gave her a lot of grief about that. See, so that's why I'm a boomer. You guys just did it. Tough
We
upper
just did
lip.
it. That was
Yeah.
the norm. Go to school, go on the bus, get home, you got the key around your neck, fend for yourself till mom and dad are home, because that was kind of the starting of the dual income families. You started to see more and more need for a double income situation. So the boomer generation led to my X generation. For a while, it was always, oh, I wanted to be a boomer. But now I sort of wear the X as a badge of courage, knowing all the things I went through in the 80s. My kind of formative years would be the 80s generation.
Mhm.
High school, junior high school, college. That was the 80s for me. So a lot of
Yeah.
things. I was reading an article the other day, but you talk about Gen X. A little meme I saw was, we all went to high school one day. They rolled a TV out into the classroom. There was a Challenger disaster. They just turned off the TV, rolled it out, and continued with class, and just
Yeah.
muscle up and move on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But probably you guys, probably like Kennedy for you, and we're not going to go negative on our comeback cast because we're positive, but we all came back from that and moved on. And that was certainly, I think that was 86.
It was. I was
believe.
in college. I was at the
Yeah.
University of Florida. You could actually see the contrails. It was a
Oh, wow.
gorgeous day. Yeah, interesting day. But Bill,
Yeah.
I think we kind of fit into this too. The way we approach privacy and work is also a little different than today. You know, although here we are, 3 people that are saying we embrace privacy, yet we're doing a podcast. But you know, we're just trying to be young as we age.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's funny, Burke, when you mentioned my siblings, and you and I have talked about this. I'm actually closer, I think, age-wise to Gen X, but classified in baby boomers. But my mom still was a stay-at-home mom, and then she went to work after I got old enough, and probably was a latchkey kid. We didn't really call it. I was a teenage latchkey kid, which I think my brother, who's much younger than I am, he was like one of those elementary school latchkey kids. So, and now you don't even think about it. Like, kids know the combination to get into your house, your car, key, whatever that is, and it's not such a big thing. But I remember, Brian, you complaining about your mom, going, not being there or whatever she decided to do. I remember that when that started happening, and whether it was the need for 2 incomes, I think that was a big part of it. I think it was also that women just were kind of coming into their own a little bit and wanted more than just maybe what they traditionally had. So
That was my mom.
yeah. And
hey, Bill, while I'm glancing over your shoulder, can you give us a little view of what what New Zealand is like?
So, first of all, you can see I'm wearing my down vest because it's summer here, and it's about 55 degrees. We had a cold front come in. I have to tell you, and it's probably, and I've been to New Zealand once 25 years ago. It's probably the most beautiful place I've ever been. And I say that not just landscape wise, but just the people are wonderful. The food's amazing, very kind of chill, laid back, friendly people. And, you know, what I say about New Zealand is that when you think about the length of the country, the north being closer to the equator, so that would be like our Florida, for example, in the US. It goes, imagine, a country a little bit bigger than California, probably like maybe California and Oregon together, going all the way from the tropics down to almost pre-Antarctic cold water. So we're in the southern part. We're not quite at the bottom, but their winters here are mild, but their summers here are also not brutally hot. At least it hasn't been since we've been here. But yeah, no, it's a great place. I think if I ever wanted to live anywhere outside of the US, I'd probably pick here just because it's so easy and very similar to US culture and things like that. The only thing is that they drive on the left. So, so I've almost been run over by like 12 buses already looking the wrong way when I was crossing a street. But, the buses stop for you. They don't run over. They don't
Oh,
run
that's
over,
good.
or they
Well,
haven't
that's
yet.
good.
So yeah.
So Bill, I'm curious about the painting class, and you mentioned it's about 200 people in the class. Is that right?
The right here live in New Zealand, there are
Mhm.
about 10 of us.
Okay.
So and we are from, I'd say the bulk of the people in the class are from Australia, New Zealand. We have one other American here, Canadians. We have somebody from Switzerland here. So, it's a pretty wide range. And this is really focused on, as you can imagine, where we are, landscape painting. So, again, going out in the air and sitting there and trying to capture the composition. I will say, and it's funny, last night at dinner, I was talking with our group, and it's mostly women. So, of the 10, people, 3 of us are men and the rest are women, and they're roughly in our age group. I would say probably from 45 up to nearly 70, and just people very very similar parts of their life. So I was talking about what the comeback cast and kind of what we were talking about with our third act, and people moving into new phases and maybe losing your identity or changing your identity, all those things that we talked about. And they were really interested. So I said, you know what, we're going to record this here and we're going to give it all a shot. Maybe we'll get some international viewers now.
That would be
So,
awesome.
Maybe
Before
one of
we-
them would join us one day.
Yeah.
you know what? I mean, I was actually my Andrew Titchler, who runs the place, he does podcasts. He's not. I don't know how old he is. I guess maybe 40, late 30s, early 40s. So he's not in our demographic, but he has a lot of people our age coming down doing this because they have the time, they maybe have the money to get here, and they just we get stopped on the street. People, we're painting inside today because it was raining, and people are walking in, seeing all of us sitting with easels in our, inside of our condos, and they come by and they ask what we're painting, and so I mean, it's just a really fun kind of communal thing, and I am personally kind of I like painting, but I'm more focused on my writing, so I'm kind of in and out doing a little bit of both. But these are some very very serious and very very talented painters that are here, and I showed you guys my first paintings. So
Well, would you mind showing us again before we go?
I
And
will have to go downstairs and
oh,
show you that, but I did move. But yeah, I mean, and maybe I'll take a screenshot and
we'll
Brian,
do a
maybe
screenshot and we can post it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hey,
it's I yeah, they help you very much become good. So that's what
and we will put a link and I'll pin it in the comments so that you can see the Tisch Academy, and see what it's about. And you can actually do it online. And it sounds like a fun process. I thought it was interesting. Bert, before we depart, can you tell us? Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just wanted to make one more comment, as I don't think Bill is the only artist in our midst to different canvas, but I wanted to comment on your beautiful background, Brian.
Well, we are making artistic changes to our studios respectively, and hopefully you guys will join in the coming weeks. And we're all learning to do things such as edit and things that new skills. So
well, you've been our leader on that, Brian, and yours looks beautiful. We've had episodes talking about some of our technical challenges at our age. I was not able to get mine downloaded, but I will. But well, I think you should be commended for your artwork as well, Brian.
Thank you. Just so you know, well, I did not know that Bill moved because I accidentally shut my laptop screen and I had to relog in. So there you go. We're all living.
Yeah.
So, but Burke, in closing, can you first off tell us what it's going to be like for your Friday, and what it's like to be that? Do you feel really a chip on your shoulder as we say goodbye related to X, or is it really no big deal?
No, it's no big deal. I don't feel that way at all. I'm proud to be an Xer. It took me a few decades to get to that level, but now I'm proud to be an X. I don't know how that relates to my Friday. How does that relate to my Friday?
I don't know. Bill's going to tell you what's going to happen in
your Friday. Yeah, that's right. It might all go down the drain tomorrow. Hopefully it's going to be an uplifting day, right, Bill?
No, everything's going to be great tomorrow, Burke.
Great.
And I do see a lottery win in your future. So nothing to worry about there.
The bubble machine.
Yeah, so, maybe one or the other, hopefully.
Yes. Yeah. And if anybody wants to know what the bubbles machine is, comment, and maybe we'll do a whole episode on Oregon bubbles.
Yeah, I could move to one of my favorite locations down the street. Do it live from there.
All right, everybody. Have a great week.
Bill, thank you for joining us from so far away and sharing your experiences with us. It was really great to hear about.
Thank you guys. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I'll see you next time.